Yes, guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Football Inc. and Sean Butler TV. Double stream today. Johnny's joining us in a moment. Massive news out of Forest. Didn't last long. It didn't last long. Ange Postecoglou has been relieved of his duties. He has been sacked by Marinakis, who I blame entirely for what is going on over at Nottingham Forest. The Forest fans, I don't know how they feel. It's probably bittersweet. Half of them probably feel like, thank God the man's gone. Thank God he's gone. The other half are probably thinking, shouldn't have come in the first place. 0 wins, 0 wins from his first 8 games. The only game of football Nottingham Forest have won this season was their opening day against Brentford, orchestrated by the man who I have no idea why he was relieved of his duties. Absolutely none. It's a joke. Let's see if Johnny can. If he's here, he's here. He is. Hello, Johnny. How are you, my man? Good to see you.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Hey, all my trolls, where are you? All my trolls, where are you? Where are you? Eh? Oh dear. Listen, January 2024. I told you all. I still had them last night and this morning after my tweet. Listen, look. It couldn't have happened. If it was going to happen to any club, it should have happened to Nottingham Forest after the shenanigans of Marinakis. And he's probably, as we speak, I thought the best part of the whole game was that when they zoomed in on the 2 empty seats where Marinakis sits.
Yeah.
I mean,
saw that as well.
I don't know whether the 2 seats were for him because he's so big, or
Maybe.
it was him and his sidekick. It's probably a double barrel seat. But look, at the end of the day,
Double barrel seat. One for his left arse cheek, one for his right. Hey, listen, coming from someone who's who's sort of challenged in that regard, I feel the man's pain. He's had a good life, bless him. But listen, we got to talk all about it, Johnny. Just before I get into it, I haven't had a chance to do the hit the like button thing yet. Just 1 second, guys. Welcome to the stream. We got a lot to talk about. It's a massive breaking news story. I don't know how to feel about it. I know some of you will be on some part delighted, much like the Forest fans. Others would have hoped that maybe he hung around a little bit more because of the way we were treated in the summer. Maybe we brought it on ourselves, but there's a little bit of a rivalry between Spurs and Forest. So maybe you're not all that happy that he's gone because the longer he stayed, the worse it was going to get. But what an absolute shockingly bad performance from that guy. Smash the like button. I'm here with Johnny. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment or 2. If you're on Sean Butler TV, make sure you drop across to Football Inc. If you're on Football Inc., drop across to Sean Butler TV. Double smash the subs. And we're going to get into it. Also, this video will be up on the podcast formats for Football Inc. straight after the channel, after the show. I can hear myself on a horrible echo there. Johnny, mate, are you able to, is there something like a double tab open, mate? I can hear myself.
No, I don't think so. Let me just check. I don't think so.
It's a wild echo.
How wild are we talking?
I think it's better now. Mate, welcome back, buddy. How you feeling, mate? How you feeling? You okay? Oh no.
But Am I back? Am I right? Am I okay?
You're good.
Yeah. Listen, it's been a bit difficult with the streaming like that, but like it has been. But look, let's put it in a nutshell: 52 games, 47 points, shambolic, winless streak of 8 games. The worst of any manager in Nottingham Forest history. Look, if you're gonna say one thing about Ange, he has broken the records. The first manager to lose 22 games and not get relegated. I mean, 38 point not get to. He's a record breaker. 18 goals conceded in 8 games. We know that feeling so well at Spurs, including the league high 13 from set pieces since his arrival. 3 more today. Because he doesn't practice. We don't practice set pieces, do we? Yeah, the most by any Premier League side in the period. Listen, basically a fraud, P45 in hand. I just hope that when he rented his property, he did it for a year with a 6-month break clause. I'm sure there isn't a 6-week break clause. He only just
got it done, didn't he? He only just got the property sorted out.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to laugh. Look, on the one hand, mate, you know, you just feel sorry for anybody that sort of. I don't like people that fail in life. It's not nice. I don't want to see people, you know, fail, right? But
yesterday. Sorry to interrupt.
That pre-match press conference yesterday was just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. That was it for me. That was it. You know, that was really like, come on. Did you really need to say all that? That was a man. Is it the shortest reign in history? Is it better than the Palace's reign? Wasn't that not 6 games?
It's got to be close. Sure. Yeah, but a couple of those games for Forest were in midweek in the European Cup. So it's 5 weeks, right? 5.5 weeks. So it's going to be close. It's going to be days in it. He is the Liz Truss of the footballing managerial fraternity.
He does. You know? I fancy Marco Silva. I said this before. I about 3-4 weeks ago when he first started losing. I think Marco Silva will be the one because he's worked with Marinakis at Olympiacos, and let's be honest, I think that is a very, very good Nottingham Forest squad. I'm not having it that they should be 17th or lower with that squad. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Just seeing some of the responses here. Is it on the screen? I think it's on the screen. So yeah, it was 20 minutes before he even got into the dressing room. Some brief goodbyes. And he said, and he left the ground.
So did he, hang on a minute, has he not done his press conference?
No, I don't think he's going to do one.
I can't believe it. It's unlike him to miss one. Surely he must have something to say.
Look, I mean, to me, mate, the reality is, right, that I said this a long time ago, but like you come across people like him that are, you know what, Johnny, if you don't mind, what I'll do is I'll put you on mute whilst I'm talking, and I'll put myself on mute while you're talking because I can hear.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, is that all right? One sec. When I sort of was in Australia, well, not just Australia, everywhere I've been, like there's certain people in the sales game that always find a way to paint themselves in a wonderful picture. They'll always find the narrative that they convince themselves of in their own head of why they're not responsible. And he is someone that is so caught up in that. Well, once I figured out a long time ago, at the end of the talk, like 3/4 of the way through his Tottenham career, that this analogy, this justification, this excuse merchant, you know that he's a grifter who has got himself into a position where he could float around and outperform in certain worlds, but when it came to the Premier League, he was just out of his depth, Johnny, right? Out of his depth, 100%. And he's also incredibly indignant, incredibly defensive. And I think that if you're that defensive, that indignant, always trying to find ways to spin the narrative so that it's not your fault or that you just don't see it the way I see it, and that's a you problem, not a real problem, all of those things, if you've mastered the art of dancing out of your own grave, then deep down, I think you're kind of aware of that. You're aware of the fact that you're sort of you're kind of like you're fighting, you're punching well above your weight versus your reality and your actual quality level. Bring you back in.
Yeah, look, I just think that I don't know how to say this. Like I've had a lot of stick for a long time when I called this guy out. And, you know, I don't want to see a manager fail when he's at our club. When he's at another club, fine. You know, I'm not bothered either way. But Marinakis, for the way he behaved, the way he's treated everybody, the way he sacked Nuno, you know, wouldn't it be great if Nuno managed to get a draw or a win and go above them in the league? It would be, you know, a finger up to Marinakis. Because let's be honest, Ange was plotting with Marinakis to take over Nuno's job. We said weeks ago Sean and I, that we didn't believe these signings were Nuno signings. These were for another boss with another mindset. They were very attacking. And the laughable thing was, today, with Chelsea missing so many top players, he went defensive. He played 5 at the back. When, he had, some really good attacking quality on the bench. I think when he took off Hudson and Doy, I think the crowd just gave up. I mean, the reaction from the crowd. But you reap what you sow. And, I think for me, I could tolerate most of it from the January 2024. But when he started doing the double talk and trying to take us all as mugs, calling out the fans for their behaviour, the cupping of the ear. Yeah, the cupping of the ear at Chelsea when I was there, and he's denied he ever did it. There's been so many incidences of his behaviour, which he doesn't really acknowledge. But he has no problem outing players. The way he treated Jed Spence and then tried to claim Jed Spence, he saved Jed Spence. No, you didn't. You did not save Jed Spence. You almost ruined his career, mate. Right? So I think, look, for me, can you really see Sean Dyche taking over? I know he lives in the area. He lives around the corner, but that can't be a reason. I live not far from Watford. Should that mean that I should take over as Watford's new manager? I don't think so. Listen, I'm willing to have a bash. I definitely would pick a better team, and I couldn't do worse than Ange Postecoglou. I think Marco Silva, I saw some people in the chat say there's no chance Silva would take the job, but I would say that he would jump at the chance if he was offered it, because he's a really good manager, Marco Silva. I really do think so. What are you going to say, Sean? Sorry.
Yeah, no, just a couple of. I'll stick you on mute again, mate, just for a second, because the loop back. Some of the comments here, spot on, right? So, I mean, you've got someone here who's in the defensive mode. I think Rodney, could be up to you. The reality is, he did win us a European trophy. End of. Laugh as you may, he did it, and others did not. That is true. You can't take that away from me. 100% is true. And look, it's the biggest trophy we won. So I'll forever be grateful for that particular part. But the other thing. So Terry O'Shea's talking about him sort of reverting back after all of the double speak, after all of the analogies, the stonecutters thing, we're just not at the 100th hit yet, all of that stuff. And then towards the end, when he started to play, like, I don't know whether they're making out like English people are xenophobic. I mean, he started to lose people a little bit there. He didn't say the word xenophobic, but kind of inferring it. That was a little bit, poor, I think, very poor. There's plenty of managers from plenty of parts of the world that have done very, very well in the Premier League or in English football as managers that are not known for their footballing acumen generally, in terms of like their nations being successful in tournaments or whatever. Doesn't mean anything. It shouldn't be that way, but that's where he pivoted to. But the biggest one, and I appreciate you reminding everyone this one, Aussie, Frank Lover. Sean, you got your wish about Ange. He came back to the English Premier League and showed how bad he really is. This was the thing, right? I was torn when he left. I was like, I don't want him to stay, but there's a part of me that thinks that this guy is going to walk off into the sunset with the European Trophy winners medal and basically forever be thought of as a legend by 3/4 of the fan base. And I'm guessing that won't change. People will always remember him that way. I think Rodney obviously does, right? But when he said season 3 is better than season 2, part of me wanted to find out, because I wanted to know whether or not he was the fraud that I thought he was. And I'm so happy that we got to see it. It's been made clear now, but it didn't have to happen on our watch, Johnny. It didn't have to happen on our own time. I'll bring you back in.
Well, the one thing I got wrong, totally wrong, was I said, well, there he is. He'll never get sacked in the first year of his job. I always deliver in my second year. I mean, I thought, well, that's carte blanche. Everyone's going to give him a 2-year contract. I don't know what contract Marinakis gave him, but it probably gave him a 2-year contract. If you were negotiating, that's what you'd be saying. And look what's happened now. He didn't even last 5 weeks. I mean, honestly, maybe he meant month 2. I don't know. Maybe he meant month 2. It would come good. But where does he go from here? Where does he go from here? Does he end up in Greece, Marathon Panathinaikos or Paphos?
I think he's still going to get a job somewhere for sure. 100% he'll get a job. In a probably not a horrendous team, but he needs to play in a team that
Australia.
No, I think he'll get offered a gig around Europe somewhere. Well, like let's Graham Potter. Sorry, Johnny, I can hear the echo again. 1 second.
Yeah.
I can hear Graham Potter is he's just getting the what's going on here? It's not muting now. There you go. I see Graham Potter is just got the Sweden job, and look how bad he's been in the West Ham thing. I think that Graham Potter's a far more sophisticated manager personally, far more tactically nous than Ange. But I think he'll get a job somewhere. But for him, I think for him to be able to, for his tactics to work, he either needs to have the best team by a country mile in an okay league, or he needs to go to a lesser league where football isn't that evolved and football isn't that sophisticated, and then his model of evoking some sort of team speech that can inspire people, those sorts of things can be more prevalent. But at this level, having a motivational speech as your number one kind of criteria, your number one, undeniable. He's definitely got the right words in the right order. He's definitely a master of the English language. So if that's your only real skill set and it's massively above your technical levels at anything else, then you're going to get found out at the highest level. But maybe that thing is useful and worthwhile in levels of football that aren't quite as sophisticated, Johnny.
So are we saying that when he was at Celtic, beating Falkirk isn't an achievement, or is
it? Yeah. Oh, is he still here?
Are we saying that? And St Mirren, I'm still here. Are we saying that St Mirren are to be dismissed and Falkirk? I mean, listen, look, he did it at Celtic and he did it in Japan. Okay. This is the bloody Premier League. When he came in here and he was loading it up in those first few games when no one knew what he was doing, he taught Pep how to play football. No, I taught Pep. He was giving it large. He was a great taker of the plaudits, but when the shit came to visit, he couldn't handle it. I don't know. Listen, I have very little. I feel sorry for the Forest fans. I don't feel sorry for Marinakis. Wolfie's probably gutted that he's left because, that was what was keeping people coming back to watch Wolfie. They're probably, unless he gets Sean Dyche, that's going to be an interesting one because he did such a good job at Everton.
Wolfie was saying last week, as soon as the Sean Dyche rumor started, he's like, if Sean Dyche is plan B, then I'm Ange in.
I don't blame him. Look, for me, Silva ticks all the boxes. Glasner's not going to leave Crystal Palace for them. No chance. I don't think. No chance. But I think Marco Silva might. Remember, Fulham didn't spend any money really in the transfer window. And I still maintain that Nottingham Forest squad is an extremely good squad. I really do. Got great strength and depth on that bench. I like Igor Jesus. The Cunha and Dye. Was it not and Dye? What was the other guy? Forest bought that wasn't playing today. The winger.
Yeah. His name is Ndoye.
Ndoye, yeah. Why wasn't Ndoye playing today? He's a bloody handful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's a very good player, Ndoye. Do you think, where does Marinakis go from here? Like, forget Park Short, because Sean Dyche, I don't know what style of football Sean Dyche is. I honestly don't know. Is he pragmatic? He's always just usually had teams in relegation scrap. So he plays a certain way to try to get them out of trouble. But same with like a Sam Allardyce, you always wonder, if Sam Allardyce was in charge of Manchester City, would he play low block, sort of defensive, scrappy football? I know it would never happen, but as a thought experiment, do they manage the way they manage because of the environment in which they inherit? Or are they just that sort of style of manager, Johnny?
I think Sam Allardyce's ball would actually be quite in keeping with how they're playing now. They're all going long. They're using the long throw. I think you're onto something, Sean. Bring back Sam. Huh?
Big Sam.
Disrespect Sam Allardyce at your peril. I think that's the sort of game. I mean, when you see even Pep Guardiola going long, you know something's afoot. It's going to be interesting. He's obviously got someone in the pipeline. Who's on the list now? So
the Olympiacos manager was Silva. One of them, wasn't he? Let's have a look. I'll get the Forest next man. I'll get it up. Forest next manager odds. Here we go. There must be a decent updated. Here we go. Yeah, 1 hour. Bloody hell! Doesn't matter what the story. The odd like everyone somewhere is doing their media bit within the last 15 minutes. National World, whoever they are, has put out a full article on the next Forest manager odds. Let's bring it up for us, shall we? Let's have a look. See. Here we go. So
just to keep you up to date.
I think this is up to date.
Keeping you up to date
in the last hour. Oh, go on. Sorry, Johnny. Yeah, carry on, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, just keeping you up to date with the fact that RB Leipzig 0, Hamburg 0, just approaching half time. 0-0 in the footballing derby between Sean and myself. RB Leipzig at home. Vuskovic at the back, doing wonderful things at Hamburg. Things you love to see. Sorry, Sean. Let's have a look at the odds there. See, I like Silva.
I think it's up to date. So you got Sean Dyche just above evens. Marco Silva second favourite. Brendan Rodgers probably not a bad shout. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Eric 10 games. Mendilibar is the Olympiacos manager, I believe. Jose Luis Mendilibar. I'm not sure who Pedro Martins is. I'm sure Graham Potter has just signed for Sweden, hasn't he? Or is that not confirmed yet?
I think so. Rob Edwards. Rob Edwards has just gone to Middlesbrough and doing a very good job.
Maybe this is. Tell you what, this is a player. This is a manager I wouldn't mind seeing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing him in the Premier League.
Yeah, the one I mentioned earlier in our group chat, Sean, who not a lot of people seem to be talking about, is what the job Frank Lampard has done at Coventry, taking them from 17th place when he arrived midway through last season after they sacked Robbins, and they sit top of the table, having scored 12 goals more than anyone else, and they're absolutely smashing it, playing fantastic football. No, it's early days, but could he make a return to Forest?
Yeah, let me show you. This is from Odds Checker as well. Is this on the screen? Can you see that on the screen now?
Yep.
Yeah. So they've got Sean Dyche, Silva, Mourinho. He's just gone to Benfica, so he's not going to go. Well, that's what? It's weird. And this is Odds Checker. This is like something we should be at least looking at. Danny Roll and Kieran McKenna. I think
Bournemouth have gone one up. Bournemouth have gone one up against Crystal Palace.
Interesting. Mate, I see you backed Forest for a cheeky win today, and they got absolutely smashed to pieces.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you why I backed it, and I said why. I said, should they win? Absolutely not. The only reason was they were missing Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez, Palmer, most of their centre backs, and they still couldn't do jack shit. So he had to go today. He had to go. Sunderland beating Wolves as predicted.
Sunderland beating Wolves. Yeah, I think we all went for a Sunderland win, didn't we? I forget.
Yeah.
And then, someone got... Wolves, no, who was it? Ryan Garcia, the Wolves fan, came into the chat yesterday and was like, you cheeky gits, you miserable bastards.
The thing is, if if Wolves win today, they go above Forest. So, interesting.
And then Burnley's when? Tomorrow?
Yeah, Nordi Makueni. He's scorer, I think it is. Makueli. Yeah, Sunderland are doing very well. They bought well, and I think we said many times on this show. I think that Granit Xhaka was an absolutely superb signing. But Bournemouth.
Let's talk for a quick second about Bournemouth. So we'll come back to Nottingham Forest, but let's just have like a little sort of breather on the Forest story, because it's obviously breaking. We need to find out really who the odds are, where what's going to happen there. But before we let's just talk about Bournemouth for a second. If they win today, they do go top. Are Bournemouth capable, or what are Bournemouth capable of this season? Realistically, what are they capable of a Champions League push?
Well, look, I think what they've done is quite incredible. They sold us Dominic Solanke for 65 million. And with that money, they bought Evan Nilsson. They bought Huijsen, Zabani, Kirkes, right? They sold 3 of them, right? Their whole defence. And we're thinking
3-4x what they paid for them, right?
Yeah. We're thinking to ourselves, they're going to be in trouble. You can't sell your entire defence or 3/4 of it and keep yourself intact. But they bought in Sensi, Diakate, whatever his name is. The two of them, Diakate at centre back. The two of them at centre back have been absolutely
look like this season's version of Murillo and Milenkovic. Different types of players, but like a surprise partnership at the back that are really, really impressive.
Or do they look like Zabani and Murillo? Do they look like Zabani and Huijsen? You could say the same there.
Well, yeah. I don't think there's too much difference. I think Maybe. You're right. I just think I think last year, most people, when you were talking about who were the surprise defensive pairing that sort of surprised most people, I mean, to those of the chat that have listened to Jonny or myself, or others, like there's a lot of people in the Tottenham community that were massive on Milenkovic when he was at Fiorentina, and we were like a load of us. I remember Danny from Hotspur Hood talked about him a lot. Saba talked about, you talked about, I talked. A lot of people talked about Milenkovic and were saying he'd be good at Tottenham, just not in an Ange Postecoglou system. He ends up going to Forest, and then Murillo was just absolutely brilliant. And but most people would say that that partnership was the surprise partnership last season. But you're right, you're absolutely right. Like Huijsen and his partner were equally impressive last year.
I mean, they bought in Truffert, right, for Kirkes, and he's also been really good. But I think the main player, apart from the obvious, Semenya, the one player who I really wanted Spurs to get hold of, and they got hold of him, was Alex Scott. He's really had, a lot of injuries.
Your club is ahead of my club.
Yeah, Noosa. It must have been right on the stroke of half time, that one. Alex Scott promised so much. Him and Walton were two, real top talents. Well, they did really well, to be truthful. They did really, really well. And since he's been back, Bournemouth have got a real string to their bow. Tyler Adams as well. He seems to have settled in. He's a bustling, busy player. But, the two of them, the one player I thought that they would really miss today was out with a hamstring is Brooks, another unsung hero, a player that really seems to be pulling all the strings.
He had cancer. He had cancer?
Yeah. He's been unbelievable, but he's done a hamstring. I think he could be out for a while. So I thought it might be a problem today. But they didn't even start. They started with Eli Krupi up front, who scored the goal, and a midfield of Taverner, Alex Scott, Justin Kluivert, Tyler Adams, and Semenya. And they didn't even. Oh, he must be injured. He must be injured. He must be injured. Yeah, it must have a couple of injuries up there. But listen, I don't think Palace will lie down easily for that game. I'd be interested to see. I mean, if Bournemouth, they do go top, don't they? They win today, or do they go second?
No. I think they're top at the moment, mate.
They're top at the moment.
They're top as we speak. I'll show the tab. Look,
I can't see Arsenal losing to Fulham tomorrow or tonight. Tonight, isn't it? Yeah, they're top.
Bournemouth currently top. Yeah, Arsenal will win. Liverpool, Man United, I don't know. I'd imagine Liverpool will be just fine. City are playing right now, aren't they? City have got Who have City got right now? I forget.
Everton, isn't it?
Everton, that's right. Yeah, they're playing as we speak.
Can I just say, when Spurs lost to Bournemouth, there was absolute uproar in the fan base, and everyone rounded down on Thomas Frank. And we were poor, and we were second best, no two ways about it. But when you look at that result now, Sean,
yeah,
that's a
well, that's what
result.
I'm saying. So, what are Bournemouth capable of, Johnny? Are we looking at a team? Because I think that it's obviously we're still in the first quarter of the season, and injuries haven't really. There's not. I mean, there's a couple of teams that have had a few bad injuries. Chelsea have had a few bad injuries. Arsenal have had a couple of bad injuries. Tottenham have had like some long-term consistent ones. But I genuinely think that Bournemouth don't have a lot of squad depth. So like when you'd imagine if they lose a Semenyo, if they do lose, I mean, if the guy Brooks is out with a hammy, that's a problem for them because they do have ridiculous balance, right? But
correct.
If they do get injured, and they will have them, then I don't know how long they sustain it. But right now, like
no Europe though. No
Europe,
that's
another big thing, isn't it? Another big thing. Yeah,
massive. Yeah. Could they turn out to be a Leicester? Surely not.
No, I don't think so. I think that the Leicester year was the anomaly because at that particular point in time, a lot of the teams that were traditional favourites were going through a various sort of version of a rebuild, right? Whereas right now, Arsenal have already got the depth, and Liverpool obviously are struggling at the moment. But January will determine a lot, won't it, mate? And we're going helter skelter now in the next 6 weeks. I know there's another international break in a few weeks' time, but the next 6 or 7 weeks going into the sort of Christmas period is when I think that the seasons are generally won and lost, to be honest. If Bournemouth can keep going, though, if Bournemouth can get a result against Crystal Palace on the back of their first loss in whatever it was, 18 games, I think it was. If they lose again today, then do the wheels come off a little bit of Crystal Palace's form? But it's a tough game, mate. Bournemouth are away. I don't know, mate. Look, I'm looking at Bournemouth. If Bournemouth are playing wherever they're playing, I don't think that you immediately give the 3 points to anybody, no matter who it is.
No, I don't know. I mean, listen, I would have been very happy taking Iraola as Spurs manager, as much as I love Thomas Frank. I've been a Thomas Frank fan for many, many years. I just never, ever thought he would be a manager that Spurs would go for. So that's why I always touted Iraola and Glasner, how one has developed and improved players that were shocking, and another one who just keeps creating teams that are very hard to beat. If Iraola had maybe managed under Marinakis, I think he may have got sacked. I can't remember how many games it was under Iraola before he got his first victory, but he definitely struggled when he first got to Bournemouth. But that's way behind him now. And one would think if Ruben Delusional Amorim should lose his job, then I would say that it's Glasner or Iraola have got to be front runners for the job. I'd be amazed. 39 days, the shortest in Premier League history. Wow.
Just quickly, was the previous sacking before today, was it also Nottingham Forest, or did West Ham happen
Charlton?
In between?
I think it was Charlton. I thought Crystal Palace held the shortest.
No, I don't mean that. I mean, in terms of, like, in the Premier League sackings this season, you've had Nuno, you've had Graham Potter, and you've had now Ange. But did Nuno happen? Did Potter happen in between, or was it Nottingham? Was it West Ham, then Nottingham Forest, then Nottingham Forest again?
Yeah, West Ham. I'm sure it's West Ham, Nottingham Forest. Yeah, Nottingham Forest, West Ham, Nottingham Forest.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Has there ever been a season where a guy has sacked 3 managers in a season? It's got to be the first time a manager sacked 2 managers in the first 8 games of a season. No, got to be.
The Forest statement is 39 words, 1 for each day.
Brilliant. Thank you, Michael. Brilliant. Yeah, Nuno Potter. That's right. Yeah, Nuno Potter and then him. Yeah. Who's next? Who's next for the chopping block?
Ruben.
Oh, yeah, but let's see what happens. Big game
there's
tomorrow.
Nobody else that's like criminally underperforming,
no,
right?
So, not really.
I mean, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Wolves have just given Pereira
3-year contract.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? Tell me something. Things must be up shit's creek without a paddle, right? For them to, the guy can't win a game, can't buy a game, and they give him a 3-year contract. Whoever gave him that contract could be for the chopping block. Seriously.
It's mad.
Surely you have triggers. Surely you give him to the end of the season, and if you do okay, we'll trigger the second 2-year contract. We'll give you a 1-year contract with a 2-year extension should you meet the criteria in year 1. Or he uses.
I'd love to know when the last time that all three teams that came up didn't go back down again. I know that most seasons it's at least 1, usually 2, quite often 3. But at the moment, the bottom 3, you look at that bottom 3 and you think, all right, Nottingham Forest now, they're going to have they probably should have a new manager bounce depending on who they go for. But if they do go for Sean Dyche, there could very well be a situation where Nottingham Forest end up sacking a manager for a third time, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they go for Sean Dyche, it's entirely possible. You know, I really do. I mean, who else? Brendan Rodgers. It isn't. I think it's a really good squad. I think it's a good.
And I think Brendan Rodgers is a decent manager as well. By the way, I like Brendan Rodgers when he was at Leicester. I thought he was very good.
Yeah, listen, I think that's a very good squad, and it should be challenging for the top 5 players. Good goalkeeper, very good defense, very good midfield, and they bought some really good players. And they need to start winning. I mean, what have they got? 5 points from the opening 8 games. So, you know, Forest, it's early doors yet. Yeah, there's no way they're going to get relegated at this stage. It's far too early to say that. I think
they are in the bottom 3 at the moment, though. They are in the bottom 3 as it stands. Let's do a couple of super chats. Big up to you, Houdini. There he is with a super stick. He started as always. I'll meet you in the 8 bar tomorrow, Dean. Okay, meet you in the 8 bar tomorrow, my man. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much for your super sticker, mate. The beer's on me tomorrow, my man. I'll be with Blaine as well, and hopefully Johnny can come and meet us. So it'll be nice to catch up with them. We'll come and say hello to everybody in the 8 bar. If you are watching this and you're going to the game tomorrow, catch us in the 8 bar around midday for a cheeky beer or 2. That'd be a cool place to meet.
That's the 8 bar, not the. That's the 8 bar, not the 8 ball. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens later. Am I kidding? I'm not really. No, I'm kidding. Big up to thank you very much, Tony Juan Kenobi. Big up to you. The king is dead. Long live the king. Who will it be? Well, we've just been discussing that. There's no clear, obvious target. I agree with Johnny. I don't think that he's going to be able to convince a top name. He might be able to get Marco Silva, who would be very good, I think. But it'd be interesting what the compensation would be. By the way, the sacking of Ange, Johnny, is going to go against their FFP. I don't know how much money he's earning. I wouldn't believe he was earning 4 or 5 million like he was earning at Tottenham. What do you reckon? 2 million, something like that.
I think he'd be given a good job. What are the odds of Marinakis being the new Forest manager?
Might happen. Do you know what else might happen, mate? There was all these rumours. Okay, I'll hit the echo again 1 second. I'll put you on mute for 1 second. There was all these rumours about Marinakis and John Textor getting into bed together, right? Creating a giant multi-club ownership. I think it was all poo-pooed in the end. It didn't turn out to be true. But I wonder whether or not, because of the amount of unbelievable debt that John Textor's in, do you think there's any chance that Marinakis might just say to him, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll buy out your debt and I'll pay it off. But I'm also taking 80% of Lyon and I'll take 80% of Botafogo and I'll take 100% of Molenbeek in the process.
Anything's possible. We saw that. Listen, he's drowning in his own debt it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. He's not going to be able to fulfill this debt. I can't see it. How many players did they sell for Botafogo? Was it 4 or 5 players from Botafogo to Nottingham Forest? But no connection with John Textor. 5. No connection with John Textor and Marinakis. Just 5 of his players went there. And the dealings between Leon and Forest.
And
no connection.
Danilo as well. I think Danilo went back to Botafogo from Forest.
Yeah. Listen, it's the game's corrupt. For me, you reap what you sow. He's not popular, Marinakis. I didn't like when he ran onto the pitch to berate Nuno last season. After all Nuno has done, he gave them a fantastic ride last season. If that had been my club last season, yeah, I know they fell off and they ended up in the Europa League, but better to have had those runs and that excitement. But him running on and going mad, unbelievable.
Yeah, same. Just let me do a quick last super chat. Big up to Joe. Big up to you, mate. Good to see you, my man. And thank you very much for the super chat. He's just laughing your face off, laughing face emoji. Guys, super quick. There's 450 odd people here watching on both channels. Not sure where you're watching. If you're watching on Sean Butler TV, can you do me a favor? In fact, let me just get it. Let me just find the links for us. If you're watching on Sean Butler TV, can you jump across to Football Inc. right here? Here's the link, and smash the like and hit the subscribe if you haven't already. And if you happen to be watching on Football Inc. and you haven't already, then would really appreciate it if you can. In fact, I've just seen there's 125 people watching in each stream, so we've got absolute parity. So if you can do us a favor and get across to the other ones, and then just come back wherever you came in on, come back out and watch it there. But just smash the subscribe. Trying to obviously grow all channels.
Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the subscribe, guys. It doesn't hurt. Promise it doesn't. We need your support. Can't grow without you. It could be a song, Sean.
Can't grow without
you. Yes.
Jonny, a little bit of Tottenham news from yesterday. Did you see? I know that you've been a massive advocate about this for years. You might be pleased to see that we're apparently going to have some statues finally.
Oh, unbelievable! Praise the Lord. I've made so many. Yeah, fantastic news. Fantastic news. Tell me something. What could possibly have been the question? And statues is all we asked. Understand your fan base, right? They didn't ask for much. When you take your child down to Spurs, boy, girl, you take your grandchild down and you get down to the ground and you see the statue and your son, your daughter, or your nephew, whoever says, "Who's that, Dad, Uncle, Grandpa?" And you say, "That's Bill Nicholson, the greatest manager ever at Tottenham. He did this, this, and this." There's Jimmy Greaves, one of the greatest players to ever play football. That's Harry Kane. I think, I love Harry Kane, but I think there are other people that need to be recipients of the statue. Those of you who are a bit older, like me, would say that there are people who are more deserving at this stage of a statue than Harry.
Should not be the first.
Yeah. So, but these things are very important, and I always felt that we had been cleansed. Our history had been cleansed from the new stadium. It had no football heritage, and they've listened. And they're saying that they're going to put statues in. They're looking for places. They'll approach the council. All this bullshit that we were fed, that the council weren't allowing them. Oh, no. We're just going to give jobs to thousands of the community. We're going to bring the community up, but we will not, under any circumstances, allow you to put a statue in the road or anywhere near the stadium. Bullshit. There's lots of places to go in there. And the other thing is, in the in the concourse in the South Stand, when you walk round, there's a lot of bare walls, Sean. I'd like to see some murals. I'd like to see some murals done of special moments, whether that's Lucas Moura's magic goal when he scored that final goal, or there's lots of magic moments
Gaza that could be done or whatever in the 91.
They could be done as murals around again, same thing. Dad, what's that? Grandpa, what's that? And then you tell them the story. That's all about the history of the club. Fantastic news. I'd also like to see the museum, but I don't know when that one's ever going to come. Maybe it'd be in the basement of the hotel. Who knows? But
they've got a weird thing, haven't they? They've got in the club shop. There's a building in there that was a listed building that they've incorporated into the stadium, but they've turned it into like an art gallery.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the art gallery, like whenever I've been in the shop is chock-a-block, but I've never seen a single soul in the art gallery. But I don't even think the art gallery I'm not even sure if it's Tottenham art. I think it's like local artists or whatever that get to put their stuff up.
It's sort of football art. It's sort of local art. Yeah, there's bits of local art, but I think a museum. I mean, not only that, the museum would generate money. I mean, think about it. You go into the museum, you put on your earphones and you see clips of history. You come from all around the world. It's all part of the experience.
Yeah.
Those winning moments, those special moments in our history, whether it's a 20-minute video of the history, going around seeing medals, seeing things that have happened at the club over the years, memorabilia. I've got one of those giant Opus books that I won. That my missus is trying to get me to get rid of since I won it. I won won a trip. I got invited to the training ground under Pochettino, and at the end they gave me this book that needed 2 people in a forklift truck to put in the back of my car. It's huge. It's huge. But look, this is good news. There has been more good things for fans in the last 4 or 5 weeks since he's gone than there has been in a long, long time. What I'd like to see now, which we also spoke about, is how we can improve the atmosphere at the stadium, because there needs to be a lot of work done on that. Whether or not it's relocating fans to sit in a singing section in that South Stand, and if you don't want to sing, you don't want to be part of it, we'll move you to another position. I don't know, but they need to do something, because Frank talks about making it a fortress. It's anything other than a fortress. 3 wins in 17 home games is not a fortress.
Yeah, 100%. But I'll be honest. I feel like I've given. Maybe I haven't. I've been accused recently. Let me start this again. I've been accused recently of since Daniel Levy's gone, Sean, you've turned a little bit negative on all of the club announcements and things. I don't think I've been. I'll just give it. I always just say how I see it, right? Doesn't mean that I'm right or maybe I'm wrong in your eyes, whatever. But it's just opinions. But I feel like I feel like when it came to Vinay and his communication, it initially always felt like it was pandering and a little bit. I'm trying to make an impact and I'm saying all of the right things, but none of the tough things. But actually, I watched that fan engagement thing quite in detail. And I mentioned this on the video I did earlier on Spurs Talk Show. Like, I feel like he is a very good communicator. The way that he mentioned, just in the statue conversation, for example, the way he sort of acknowledged it, the way he said it in as few words as possible, but he also set expectations that he said that these things they take longer than you would imagine, even though it sounds like a simple thing, just put up a statue. Apparently, he's saying that these things take a long time to figure out the placement, the process. Obviously, getting them made isn't probably a short-term thing. But he says all the right things in the right order in a professional way. And I feel like I've given him probably a little bit of a hard time with regards the way that I've seen him for the first 5 or 6 weeks. But actually, increasingly now I'm sort of warming up to the communication, because it is chalk and cheese to Daniel Levy style. Daniel Levy, very intelligent guy, but in terms of his ability to communicate, I wouldn't say it was the best. In fact, it was very far from the best. He never really felt like he had empathy for the fans always was speaking from a different sort of hymn book. And maybe you could make the argument it sounded like he was maybe a little bit neurodiverse or whatever, a little bit on some sort of spectrum with his inability to really read between the lines. Whereas you've got Vinay that I'm seeing now through a lens of like, he recognizes that half of the battle is getting the fans on side. And I think that he's doing that. And I also think, to be fair to the Levy, the new Levies, the Levy family that are putting the money in, I don't think it's enough, but I think it's absolutely better than nothing, and it's a really good start. So if we can go and have a really good January, Johnny, and then these little things, these micro wins, like I think someone put it in the comment section a minute ago, like the easiest tap-in ever for Levy was doing the Nicholson Gates, but he waited until his last couple of weeks in charge to get it done. Like, what a donut. If you were to, I'm going to bring you back in now.
Stuck him in the corner. Stuck him in the corner as well. Not, what he should have done would be Bill Nicholson, should have been a Bill Nicholson statue.
Yeah.
With the gates, holding on to the gates. That's what it should have been. Not, here's some gates in a corner,
right, invite a few
faces down.
Yeah. That should have been it. That should have been the first statue and the gates in one go. Bang.
Yeah, correct. Says it all. That says it all. Bournemouth have gone 2-0 up. Croupy.
Croupy again.
And Croupy again. With a lot
of great we're going to become Croupy groupies, Johnny. We're going to become Croupy groupies.
And this is without Evan Nilsson today and no Brooks. But also that old codger, Danny Welbeck, showing, he's lost nothing. Scoring the goal to put them one up against Newcastle.
Ooh,
another
Newcastle,
big result.
I think I backed Brighton. I think you in the chat, I think you and Blano both went for Newcastle wins, and I think I said Brighton have got this one.
Be interesting. I mean, Newcastle are down in 12th position. Yeah, listen, it's very tight down there, said the actress to the bishop. Forest. Yeah, Burnley ahead. If West Ham manage to get a point, they'll go 19th. Forest. Yeah, wouldn't have been nicer. He must have someone lined up, Marinakis, surely.
First of all, don't call me Shirley. I think
Shirley.
I don't know, mate. Like, how quickly do you come to that conclusion? He sacked him. Like at the moment, like I think someone said earlier, he left the upstairs section to walk downstairs to the dressing room 15 minutes before the end of the game. So when the final whistle happened, he was like, "All right, you're done." It's going to be £6 million payout, which doesn't sound like a lot in the grand scheme of things. Although, do you wonder whether or not maybe Marinakis went, "Listen, mate, I'm not paying you £6 million, and if you don't like it, you wake up with a horse's head in your bed."
Hey, listen, if you don't like it, ask Morgan. Have a word with Morgan on your way out if you want to start dance with me, mate. Yeah. If you want to dance with the devil. Yeah. No, listen, it's sure. I've got to say, that is some result if they manage to pull this off today, Bournemouth, a 2-0 win. Because let's be serious. Crystal Palace have got a very, very good home record. And up until they hadn't been beaten in weeks, it just shows you that last late goal against Everton, Grealish, where it sort of hit him, didn't it? Didn't score, it sort of hit him to go in. It's funny, isn't it? A catalyst can turn it all the other way. But yes, that looks like they're going to be the scores at half time. Brighton 1, Newcastle 0. Burnley 1, Leeds 0. I've tried and I'll say the goal was scored by Leslie rather than his surname, which is Ojachukukuku. Ogo Chukwu. Ugu Chukwu.
Johnny, let me ask you this, mate. Do you think, not to make it about Tottenham, but whilst we've got everyone, like I say, there's 450 people here, guys. Please do smash the like buttons. and jump across to the other channel and smash the sub over there as well. Jonny, we mentioned earlier about Leon and John Texter. Massive news out this morning that 7 teams, 7 of which 4, maybe 5, are from the Premier League, are looking to expedite the transfer of Malik Fofana, a player that you and I have spoken about a lot this summer. We both rate this guy. But he stayed at Lyon. He was probably promised, don't worry, Lyon aren't going to be playing in Ligue 2. They're coming back up to Ligue 1. And all that stuff happened because of Marinakis selling Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace fans must be over the moon that they got out of that jam with him. No, they just obviously handed the money over to Woody Johnson, who hasn't done very much. But listen, Malik Fofana as a left-wing option, he's probably nobody's first choice. Everybody's first choice is probably Semenyo. Everybody who has a chance, his second choice is probably Keenan Yildiz. After that, you've got Antonio Nusa, one of the boys from your club, who was an ex-Tottenham target, ex-Brentford target, who failed a medical under Thomas Frank's reign, and then stayed at Bruges, went to Leipzig in the summer. Started very well. And then obviously there's also more links today for Ilman Ndiaye from Everton. Lots and lots of links for left wingers percolating, but Malik Fofana seems the biggest one. Do you see him coming to the Premier League given Lyon's financial issues?
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be after him. He could go anywhere, to be honest with you. Top player. Just to give you a quick, before I go back, just sidetrack quickly. RB Leipzig took the lead with Christoph Baumgartner, and Hamburg equalised. 45 Baumgartner scored. Sammy Lokonga, former of Arsenal, scored to equalise in the 48th minute, and Baumgartner managed to bang the one ball in the net again to make it Leipzig 2, Hamburg 1. Big game, obviously, tonight at 5:30 Bayern Munich versus Borussia Dortmund. Yeah, there's the Hamburg. You should be wearing that, Sean.
Because it's too tight on me.
My Mets, let me tell you something. I should go and get my Mets shirt. If you give me a second, my Mets shirt arrived after 3 months. I think I ordered it about 3 months ago. It's finally arrived at my house. Let's see here, because I had some news this morning. Let's see what I've got. My briefing today. There was bits and pieces. What have I got here? Yeah, Arsenal are still looking at the monster that we like at Eintracht Frankfurt, Nathaniel Brown. Remember him?
Who? Sorry, mate, you dropped out. Who?
Nathaniel Brown.
Yeah. Great player. Left back. The left back at Frankfurt. Yeah.
Frankfurt. Correct.
Quality player.
I'm just trying to see who else. Chelsea.
Do you know what? Actually, mate, just quickly, Nathaniel Brown can very, very much play as a left back, a left wing back, or a left wing forward. He's that versatile. Maybe he might be an option because Tottenham are obviously looking for some fullback cover as well, right?
Yeah. Spurs have got a few players we're looking at. He's one of them. The other one is Vasco da Gama's winger, Rayan.
Yeah, great player.
Very good player. Also, we are keen on Rangers midfielder Nicholas Raskin.
Yeah. Do you rate him? I looked him up. I wasn't that impressed, but I don't know that much about him.
He's stop and start. He had a good game when we played them in the Europa League. And another player, Tottenham are set to compete with Manchester United for Porto midfielder Victor Froholt.
Yeah. Froholt is he was at Porto. Copenhagen. Yeah, he was at Copenhagen for last couple of years. Was linked all across Europe. Was linked to Tottenham. Ended up going to Porto, and hasn't disappointed. We spoke about him, mate. I rated him. He looks like Bergvall. He's a spitting image of Lucas Bergvall. Looks like a just pure like Aryan sort of kind of you know what I'm saying, right? Blonde hair, blue eyes, the whole thing, but he leans more defensive. He's a midfielder, but he leans more defensive. So I rated him in the summer when I ran him through the Y Scout. I was like, this guy looks great. Everyone told me we don't need any more kids. Now he's gone to Porto, and if he does come into the Premier League, just like the other fella who plays in Germany, Did he play at Frankfurt? I forget his name. I'll come back to it in a second. But we're going to pay 3 times more money for these guys because we don't take the stab on them early enough.
Well, the thing is, had we bought him as a teenager, it would have been thrown at us. We keep buying bloody kids, right? The interesting thing is he'll be playing against Nottingham Forest on Thursday for on hold, so keep an eye out on him. He'll definitely be playing Porto in the week. Raskin, I'm not sure, but Rayan is meant to be a really good player. Be interesting to see whether we start signing a few Brazilians, because Chelsea are buying them, Forest are buying them. Plenty of Brazilians now coming into the Premier League. They used to go to Ukraine first or Russia. Now they're coming into, a lot of them are coming into England. Now we're out of the EU. So it'd be interesting to see. But
big story out of TBR football, Johnny. Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool and our club, Tottenham, are among several clubs that have had unsuccessful approaches for Juventus 24-year-old French midfielder Khéphren Thuram. What a player this guy is. Back in summer of 2023, I think I did a video about Thuram. I'll tell you, he's absolutely insane. He went to Juve from France. Baller. It was Nice he was at in 2024 in the end. What a player. And he's now linked. There's unsuccessful approaches thus far, but a player that might end up in the Premier League in January. I mean, Juve seemingly being the hot topic of how do we raid a big club for their best talents, not just us, but all across the Premier League, because once again, they're in financial jeopardy. Johnny, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, another really good player. I think, look, the thing is right now, a lot of these clubs that we're mentioned in line with spent really, really big in that summer window. I'm not sure how much spending capability they have come January. And this might play into Spurs' hands that we have the ability to go and, get a player. I think Liverpool, as soon as that window are open, are going to be trying to snap up players as quickly as possible. Another one they've been linked with are eyeing up a move for one of the clubs that we always talk about, Club Brugge, Joel Ordenez, ahead of the January transfer window. And they're also monitoring, I don't know this guy, Taras Mihalovako from Dynamo Kiev. Do you know Joel Ordenez?
Ordonez. Ordonez, his name.
Ordonez.
Yeah, he's a great player. Great player.
Is he not a centre back?
Who was the player from Dynamo Kiev, you said?
Taras, Taras, and then it's Mykhavko. Mikhahavko.
I feel like I know the name, but I can't remember how.
I don't know him.
I feel like I might have done a review on him recently, but I think in the review I said I don't know much about him. But I've definitely heard the name Taras something like that before, for sure, 100%.
No, I think you're thinking of Tara Masalata.
I know that one. I know that very well, to be honest, mate. I know that one very well.
That's where you've been dipping, mate. That's the only dip you've been doing, dipping into him.
100%. I want to move in to another story, mate, just quickly. Have you seen this one about Heung-min Son, Heung-min Daddy?
No, well, is he impregnated somebody?
No, he has a clause in his contract at LAFC that allows him to join a European team during their off season ahead of the World Cup. And guess who's linked with a return? It's ours truly.
Yeah. Coming back to Spurs. Sell a few more shirts, keep it going for a few weeks. Help us out.
What are we doing here?
Shirt sales. I mean, listen, let's be honest. It's one thing scoring 9 goals and 3 assists in 6 games or 8 games or whatever it was for LA. It's another thing trying to break down a low block. But look, he's getting plenty of game time. He's enjoying himself. If he comes back and he's fit. The one thing we do know is that if he does get the ball, he can whip one in. Why can't he come on as a sub? I'm all for it.
it's for me, mate. It's the same argument as signing Endrick on loan, right? Like, are we still in the business of papering over cracks for short term? Like, we're ahead of expectations for this year. Shouldn't we be? And we apparently have money. We apparently have ambitious owners. We apparently have a new day, a new dawn, a new era that's embarking. Shouldn't we be like doing everything we can to, to find the right solutions rather than, like, don't get me wrong, I'd like to see Endrick at Tottenham. I'm sure he's a great player.
Yeah.
But there's no chance of him being like, if there's no option included, there's no obligation included. If it's just improve our player for us, please, for a few months. I'm not into that really.
Keep him fresh.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. For me, I think we just move on.
Look, they can't say, "Oh, look what we've done. We brought back him." If they brought back Semenya, which I can't see, I think more likely is we end up with a Lookman who's not been playing great, by the way.
Just scored a couple of goals.
He's gone off the ball. Yeah, but I mean, he didn't start, did he? Didn't start because of a falling out. But I would take Lookman. Realistically, I'd take Lookman in January. Can't see Semenya coming. Can't see him coming. I think he would definitely add to our attack on that left-hand side. Listen, there was plenty to be happy about when you saw Wilson Odobert and Matthias Tell do what they did for the under-19s. But, it's against Estonia. Spurs need look, Liverpool needs centre-backs desperately. Spurs need left winger and quality competitive left centre-back urgently.
And a striker.
And a striker. What do Arsenal don't need anybody. Manchester United, they need a defender.
Yep.
And a top goalkeeper. You have to have a look at some of the other teams. Wolves need hope. I think Forest just need a new manager. Yeah, it's right now we're at sort of a crossroads at the season where we're not even a quarter of the way through. Fans are already imploding. Anything can happen from now on in. Anything can happen. We got another bloody we've got another international break at the beginning of international break was it the 8th or 9th?
Midway through November. It's like
November or something. Yeah,
halfway through November. Yeah. So yeah, it's frustrating, mate. Frustrating. But listen, last super chat. We got a super chat from Mark Taylor. Big up to you. Says couldn't agree more, Johnny. The history of Spurs.
100%.
Yeah, I think it's a really good thing as well. Hopefully, it won't just be one. Hopefully, they'll dedicate a little segment or however they're going to do it. I'll leave it up to them. What was really cool though, I thought was very, very classy, and the way he said it was like it's a nothing thing, but I think it matters. Is that it's the fans that will decide who that person should be. How that comes about, I think it's just a nice way to include the fans, whether it's through the FAB, whether it's through members, through season ticket holders, whatever. Just allowing the
sure, it's going to be manipulated. We're going to have Boaty McBoatface. We're going to have a Boaty McBoatface statue. If we leave it open, we're going to have Arsenal fans. You would have to be a member or season ticket holder to vote. You can't be opening it up to every Tom, Dick, and Harry.
Yeah,
otherwise we'll end up with a statue for Timo Werner from Arsenal and Chelsea fans.
I'm joining Ed M. I'm voting for Daniel Levy. He was
statue
of Daniel. That's what we want.
Yeah, with his pockets stuffed with cash, that would be the one. Listen, when you go,
that meme of him running away with cash falling out.
Listen, when you go to other clubs, even when I was at Coventry last season, they had a big statue of Jimmy Hill. You go to Man United, some of the Busby heroes. In fact, when you go to most clubs now, you see statues. Did we see one at Reading? I'm trying to think if we saw one at Reading.
No, didn't see one.
No, it wasn't. John Majeski didn't do one to Cilla Black, did he? Because he was banging her at the time.
Yeah, I might get a statue of you, Johnny, for Football Inc. fame. You know, just put it here. Yeah. A master of Johnny, a bronze master of Johnny here, and then
just that bird, case.
That luxurious bird that's going to be dancing in the background that all that super sticker money's gone to pay for. Yeah, that's what we promised. We promised the people, and the people shall be rewarded. You know. Oh, he's frozen again. Where is he? He's not back yet. He's not back. Listen, guys, it's probably the right time to round it off. Anyway, I don't know where he's gone. He's disappeared. We're gonna leave it there and say a massive thank you to everyone and appreciate you all. We'll be back. We won't be back tomorrow. We might do something. You'll see some action from me anyway on the streams or on the uploads from the ground. Johnny's disappeared, so it's a perfect time to say goodbye to all of us. Appreciate. Oh, he's back. I was about to say goodbye, Johnny, but you're here. You're back.
Honestly, there's a guy down a hole outside my house at the moment. He's hoping to retrieve down the tunnels. I don't know what else he's found down there. He's found some Romanians who were doing a bit of work there that they shouldn't have been doing. And them now 8 days. So I hope to have internet back soon. But guys, thanks for watching. Let's just check the scores before we go, see if there's any late goals. No, nothing I can see just yet. None of that. Let's have a look quickly in Germany. 1-2 goal. Let's see. In the Bundesliga. No, it's still Leipzig 2, Hamburg 1 with 15 minutes to go. Anything can happen, Sean.
Come on, the Hamburg.
Anything can happen. Guys, thanks very much for your support. It's goodbye from me. See you at Spurs tomorrow. If you're a Villa fan, see you there. If you're a Forest fan, shit happens.
And it's goodbye from this guy. Bye.
Bye.